Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of the Renovation and Outdoor Living Show. Great to see you. A beautiful day, certainly here in central Auckland this Tuesday afternoon, and I hope it is wherever you're watching, be it the US. Many people in Australia now beginning to tune in, and maybe a few over in the UK. Now, really good also to see lots of comments already coming in. These are the continued entries for our winter barbecue competition. We're going to be announcing that today, so probably in about 15-20 minutes or so we'll tell you who's won the Weber 1000 Q1000. Thanks for all your contributions to the competition. Now, last week we were talking about on Friday we were talking about what we need to know before we start. And we talked to Virginia Henry from Melbourne, out of Melbourne, about planning for the perfect bathroom and to find out a little bit about the trends, bathroom trends in Australia at the moment. And then we talked to Dirk Wiesner from Apex Insurance about making sure you get the right policies in place before you start a major reno or a landscaping project. Now, on the whole, most of these are covered by the renovation or landscaping teams who are actually doing the work. Good afternoon, Jody. Nice to see you. But the takeaway from this, which we got, the most important tip we got was that when it actually comes to doing renovations or alterations, even if you've got the refresh team in and they've got their insurance policies in place, you as the homeowner still needs to make sure that the home and contents insurer, that your insurer is aware that you're undergoing some construction works. If that's the only thing you take away from Friday, it's a real biggie. It's an important one, certainly something which is logged in my mind. Now to today. Well, the theme is staying warm because although I'm sitting outside now, it was about 5 degrees when I first woke up this morning, and that's all I've thought about since. So we're going to soon talk about winter warmers inside, right? And actually we're going to be talking about a glass expert for the windows. First, though, staying warm outside. Ashley Laurie is from Trends Outdoors. Now he went there straight from school. That was 5 years ago. He worked in dispatch, then he worked up into the sales department, dealing with the landscapers and the architects and the builders. And then from there, he moved into management. And he joins us today to tell us a little bit about, well, Ashley, we want to hear from you about your fireplaces. What's going to keep us warm outside? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Here's the thing. This is the only sort of professional environment you've ever worked in. So what is it? Did you just go into a job and then sort of suddenly think, actually, I quite like this outdoor fireplace gig? Was there something about the products which you love?
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Now, I guess it is a family business, and definitely seen that it's something that we haven't seen on the market since is the one-piece concrete structure, for an outdoor fireplace. So seeing that is always, the passion with me just grew. To be able to provide a fireplace that's a nice, easy solution.
Yeah, it seems to me as though even calling them just fireplaces outside seems to slightly undersell these. I mean, these are extraordinary structures, aren't they? Some common questions you must be asked. Do you go gas or wood?
Yeah, no, that is a very common question we get asked. We get asked it a lot. Now we predominantly sell wood. I guess that comes back to the passion for outdoor fireplaces, which is why we do wood. There's really two different avenues you can go down here. One is with gas. You've got the nice, quick, easy to light option, so you can flick the switch. You've got flame. However, the difference between wood and gas is with wood, you only get a fraction of the heat. So down here in New Zealand, like you're saying, it's 5 degrees this morning when you woke up. So once the sun goes down, even in summer, it's getting cooler, and you really do need that warmth, which is why we mostly sell wood fires. The heat and the ambience, really, the ambience and being able to cook on the fire.
It's because people love burning stuff. Let's be honest. You press a button and your gas fire goes, and that's all very well and good. But we actually like burning stuff, don't we? And also, it looks cool when you can stack all the logs up either side of the fireplace. This one we're looking at here. That is an outdoor area. That is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great.
I mean, when you see something like this, I mean, that's not designed to cook on, I presume. But do you guys have to build that entire thing?
So what we provided there is we provided in behind that block wall is our concrete structure with a steel firebox insert with a flue system that goes up above the structure. So they place that in and they put that stone schist wall right across the front of it, and they even put a gas lighter on the side of it. So at the flick of a button, it actually roars out a gas flame out the side of it for I think about 5 minutes to get your wood going.
So you don't have to use a cup of petrol. Not that I would recommend that ever. But no, so that was quite interesting seeing that finish. Is that something which you guys, is that something which is sort of going down new avenues now, how the fireplaces are finished off? Because that's gone a long way from just the chimney being built in the garden.
Yeah, no, it's something that we steer clear of doing that final finish. So we provide the structure. So what we can say is that you drop our structure in, you can leave it as it is. So that slide that we've got up there, that is actually the fire that is in that structure without the steel wood boxes. So that was put into place. Then they built the schist wall in front of it to create the look they wanted, knowing that the fire was going to draw well and put out plenty of heat.
Yeah, I get it. So the process which you've sort of, how do you sit down with the homeowner and with the renovation team and say, okay, and you go? I presume you have to go on site because there must be a lot of things people want, but they're just not going to work.
Yeah, so that particular project there was a lot of them is working with the homeowner or the builders or the architects. Often starts with the architects, then filters through, and then we work through the nitty gritties with the builder and the architect to make it work.
So what are the trends? What are people asking for?
So now more and more. So we've been doing fires since 2006. So what you're looking at, a bit of about 14 years now. We've seen a big move towards covered in areas like that. Reason being is that these smaller sections, a lot of houses are getting built on 400 square meters. So having that room, so when you're entertaining friends and family, it's a reason to draw them away from, you might say, your kitchen areas, your living areas, where you might be preparing food and that for them, so that they can go outside and they can sit around a fire, keep warm. There's ambience. Meanwhile, it's in a nice casual space.
Your favourite pizza? And also, actually, on that subject, do most people want that cooking option as well, or is that very much a sort of 50-50 thing?
It is a bit of a, some people love the cooking option, and think about it a lot, thinking they're going to cook on their fire. I personally don't think people cook on them as much as you think you would. I myself, I really enjoy cooking, and have to admit, with our fire, I do cook on it a fair bit, cook pizzas and that on it, but probably not as much as I thought I would have, just because once you've got a nice hot fire going, it's just great to sit around. And then at the end of the evening, we do sometimes chuck the odd, cheese on toast on there,
Yeah, the problem is that, if you have a group of 8 of you or something, the pizzas are going to be, it's quite a long time to get everyone fed with one pizza oven, isn't it? So you have to build, so do you often recommend building at least 3 then in your backyard? Now, so on that subject, what is the expense? How much can you spend on these things?
So that's, once again, obviously you brought up that one of the schist wall. So that's that you've got your big schist wall. So that's obviously going to cost a lot. With our structures, you're looking with our mini Burt, and you're starting at basically $5,000 for your concrete structure, your flue, your steel firebox, and your stainless steel cooking grill. Now that includes GST and delivery anywhere in New Zealand. Then you need to get a hive lifted into place. So for that model, I'd say once you've lifted into place, you're probably going to be looking at closer to about $7,000 all up. That would include installation, plaster, and paint. And then of course you can go right up. You can go to our bigger models with polished concrete and go up to 20,000.
Yeah, but your standard, like the one which we can see there, something like that, to get into place, you're talking between 5 and 7.
Yeah, that one there with the wood boxes, so that's our Douglas fire. You'd be probably looking at closer to 10,000 for that setup there, installed like that.
Yep. So all done. Brilliant. Hey, that's awesome. Ashley, thank you very much indeed for giving us a little bit of an insight into the world of outdoor fireplaces. I would so love one. Didn't work it into our plans when we did our place, but then it's one of those, in hindsight, another 5 or 10 grand. Imagine the difference it could have made. But anyway, I'm sure you hear that an awful lot. Yeah, good to see you. That's Ashley Laurie there from Trends Outdoors. Now, if you can't afford a Trends outdoor pizza oven, but you fancy a bit of alfresco cooking, well, we are going to give away our Weber barbecue very shortly. We haven't had any more invites coming in the last 5 minutes. Probably still time to chuck your name into the draw. We have had a question here from Lynn, about to start building a new home, looking for toilets. Looking at toilets. I found information from Australia said not to use an S-trap toilet. My plumbers told me to buy an S-trap. Do you know of the issues? Not me personally, but the team is onto it. I think you've been asked where you're based. They're going to put you in touch with someone from Refresh in Australia who'll be able to help you about the S-trap. But if any of you who are watching know the answer to Lynn's question, chuck the answer up here. We can always flick it through to Lynn. So from the outside to the inside, and the difference the right glass makes in your doors and your windows, of course, funnily enough. Andrew Hibbert is marketing manager for Viridian Glass. He's been in the construction industry for 11 years, 6 years with Viridian Glass, before that 5 years with Pacific Steel. Now, Andrew describes himself as extremely passionate about glass and helping demystify the idea that all glass is the same. Andrew, good to see you today.
Hi.
I've got one question. Isn't all glass the same?
No. I'll try not to get angry about it either. No, it's really not. And I guess that's part of my role is to try and demystify that, because that's the general conception, Rawdon, is that it's all the same.
Yeah, but have you seen a change from consumers who have probably never even thought about glass when they said, right, we're going to renovate? And then they just, when it's done, they just expect the glass to have been put in. But now, do people actually take a real interest in the options?
I think they do. I think they do when they're looking at like this beautiful place in Wanaka, right? Is that they're not really thinking about glass usually until it's put in. And then they start to kind of kick up a bit of a fuss because you still get the moisture on the inside of the glass. Extremely frustrating for a homeowner, or someone like yourself that's just renovated recently. You'll notice that. And so people are looking at those issues and they're saying, I don't really want that in my house. And hopefully we can capture them at the right moment, which is when they're just about to build, or when they're just talking to their architect, or they're talking to their builder. And so that's where education in this particular sector is really needed, because the right type of glass can make the world of difference for them.
And I've watched enough Grand Designs episodes to know that the glass is a really, really important part of the project, because A, it costs a lot, and B, it has to probably be all sort of bespoke made and that sort of thing. So why is it so important? I mean, I understand it lets in the light, it keeps the wind out, job done. But as you say,
I mean, it does do that. It does do that, but it also keeps the heat in as well.
Yeah.
The right type of glass for all homeowners in New Zealand is what's called low E glass, right? And that's got an invisible metallic coating on that glass. So here you're looking at single glazing where the red is the heat, and that heat is generated inside the house. So to be energy efficient, you want your heat to stay in your house. So the image on the right is double glazing with low E glass. And so that little magnetic coating, that invisible metallic coating, is generating the heat, and it's not generating the heat, it's keeping the heat in. And so during the day, you'll have your light coming in through your windows, and you want it to stay inside the house. And so that's what the low E glass does.
And the days of, I mean, this is called double glazing, but this is not what you think about from 30, 40 years ago when double glazing, was it 40, 50 years ago when double glazing first sort of struck? I mean, this is a completely new concept of product, isn't it?
It is now, Rawdon, and it's changing at a really rapid rate. So, the quality is getting so much better, which means that you can retain so much heat. And, when we're talking about heat, we're also talking about energy savings. So, with the thermal insulation, so you can see it almost hopefully on your screen there, is that we're looking at saving homeowners up to around 80% of their energy savings, compared to 4 mil, that old school glass that you would have had in your windows in the UK and in New Zealand as well. You would have had that. And so we're all about just trying to educate people that, man, there's a better option out there for them.
I went straight to the savings column there. The rest of it didn't really matter to me. I just want and also what we saw in a couple of those images, or certainly that first image from Wanaka you showed us, is that actually, of course, now that the glass can cater to the needs of energy efficiency and thermal warmth, people are using it expansively for entire walls almost.
Yeah, and that's what we find with architects. You know, they want people to connect with their environment.
Whoa.
And yeah, so here, so this is the same house, and Gary Boyd was the architect on this one. And you know, what's super interesting, right, is that the thermal efficiency of that glass for the floor is better than concrete. So your traditional concrete block, I think it's 8 inches thick, that glass is better than that. So, you know, there are just a raft of benefits to having the right type of glass, because we're speaking about thermal insulation today. We can talk tomorrow about acoustics, you know, and the benefit of selecting the right type of glass because of acoustics. So, you know, it's just amazing. It's an amazing product.
That was an incredible product. That concrete strength of floor with a slab. Mind you see these shots of people standing on glass up, you know, the world's great high rises. It gives me the jizibis, but I get it. But I mean, what about the expense of it? Because I'll go back to that grand designs question again. Is it seems to me that when people are putting budgets together, and I know that it seems as though you can build things in the UK, Australia, and America for next to nothing compared to New Zealand. But I mean, it is a heck of a slice out of your budget, isn't it?
It's not when you're considering the whole of life of the product. So if you're actually looking at energy savings, which we talked about earlier, it's not actually that much. And a lot of people don't kind of factor that in when they're building. A lot of people are looking at, well, what is the price right now? And we really want people to be educated, because then they're thinking, oh, actually, I don't want to hear the noise outside. I do want a house that lets in light and retains heat. So we want people to be thinking about all of that, as opposed to what is the immediate cost of this. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, so here, I just would like to also talk about the double glazing selector. So this here is a website that we've set up at www.glazingselector.co.nz, and it's to help homeowners choose the right type of glass. So if we can go through that, it also educates homeowners about the different types of glass that take place. So if you press on Get Started, then it will take you through a series of questions. And particularly if people are renovating, they would want to go, I'm renovating. And this is where people would be able to select whether they want to let whole heap of natural light in or control natural light. One of the biggest issues that a lot of homeowners have is that they say that there's too much light coming in their house nowadays. So we've got another type of glass that can control that. Of course, here we're talking about acoustic glass. So again, in Auckland or other metropolitan areas, noise is an issue, and we're really looking forward towards multi-unit living, which is houses are much closer together, because we've got a solution for that as well. So if we can go for noise can be an issue, and we'll go through that. Now, this is where the magic kind of happens in our glass. We have a type of glass that has a double silver oxide coating on it, which means that a whole heap of light comes in and heat, but not too much. And so a lot of people are preferring clear glass, but they don't want excess heat coming through. So if we can go prefer clear glass, that would be ideal, but either option is fine. And the other thing is because there is a laminate now within glass, you can also have restrict furniture fading. Of course, furniture fades over time anyway, but this here at least allows your furniture to fade at a much slower rate than what it usually would. So if we can click on that as
Amazing.
well.
Amazing.
Yeah. I think that's
Let's have
the
a quick
last.
look through there.
Yep. And so what it's
And there's
saying
your
is,
pet
what's
cat.
the most important thing? Yeah.
Hey, Andrew,
so, yeah,
that's fascinating.
sure.
Now, thank you so much for all that. I don't know if
you're
you're
welcome.
aware, but I seem to have disappeared offline for about 5 minutes there. But I came back, and you were still there, and I appreciate that. But
talking.
there's so much more to talk about there, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah, and I haven't even talked about anyway. Look, yeah, Andrew, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, and yeah, I'm very, very happy to house in Wanaka anytime you like. But I'm not going to walk onto that glass on that floor. No, I know it's strong enough. Yeah, good on you, mate. Thank you. So there you go. All you need to know about the wonderful world of glass. Fascinating. Now, let's get to the winner of now, Lynn has just sent in a message saying, thanks to Andrew, he handled it well. So obviously you were all aware of the fact I disappeared into the internet ether. My signal died on me, and they were trying to reconnect me the whole time. Anyway, it seems as though I'm back now, which is all good. I didn't just go and have a cup of tea while Andrew was talking, trust me. So to the barbecue, this is the Q1000, the Weber Q1000, the Weber, which I rate as the best gas barbecues you can buy, only because I've got one. This one, which you can chuck in your car or onto the boat, or if you've got a deck, just amazing versatility, or you can use it in your main garden. And the winner is, we had to find out from you what your next outdoor project was going to be, and we had hundreds of entries for this. And our winner is Faye King, the real Faye King. I wonder, Faye, how many years you've had to put up with people making jokes about the fact your name is Faye King. But really good to see that you've won that. I'm not sure what your project was. We'll try and dig that feature out for you, that detail out for you. But Faye, congratulations! You've just won our Q1000 barbecue. Now, as winter settles in, and we settle into our new freedom here in New Zealand, and Australia's got a lot more freedom as well under level 2 of the COVID-19. There were a couple of articles which caught my eye today, and it's a case of good news and bad news. The bad news is, well, it may not even be summertime yet in Europe, but they're already bracing themselves for autumn and winter, when experts say a second, more deadly wave of COVID-19 could hit the continent. Well, that's according to the Stourbridge News in the UK. Don't knock it as fake news. It's a lesser known publication out of Stourbridge in the UK, but there is a general concern over there that they're already looking ahead to, as the vaccination gets further and further away, to what's going to happen come the end of summer. But the good news, a just published study has found that llamas could hold the key to fighting off COVID-19. Their blood apparently has large antibodies like ours, but it also has little antibodies that can sneak into spaces on viral proteins that are too small for human antibodies to get to and fight off. Therefore, llama's blood finds it is more effective at fighting off the threat from those antibodies, right? From those viruses, okay, with their antibodies. How do researchers know this? Well, because they've been getting some help from a female llama in Belgium whose antibodies have already fought off MERS and also SARS, this poor llama. Now they hope she can fight off COVID-19. Poor little thing. Her name, the name of the llama, fittingly enough, is Winter. That's her name, which is why I was thinking about it, because of our theme today, which is keeping warm in the winter. Anyway, I'm sure you can all keep warm in your own way, and we'll see you on Friday. Thanks for staying with us during our weird sort of technical issues. Looking forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.